My name is Rick Bowden, and I am president of the Pinckney Putnam Hamburg Hill Chamber of Commerce. We've had a long night tonight. This is the last segment of our candidate forum that's being held on October 12th, and we've went through a number of different offices from some of the federal and national levels, some of the state offices, to county positions, and now we were down to the trustees for the townships. We just finished Hamburg Township, and our last position is Putnam Township. Unfortunately, we've only got one of the candidates here, so, I guess I should tell you that you probably vote for this guy, because he at least stayed and he waited, and he was here, but I also know he's got some attributes to talk about. So we have a number of candidates that are running. There are actually 2 Democrats that are running, Jim Brady and James Robert, and then there are 4 Republicans that are running, Thomas Chambers, who's an incumbent, Sally Guyon, who was the clerk and is now running for a trustee position, Norm Klein, who's also a Republican and an incumbent. He was going to be with us and had a family situation come up and couldn't be here. And then we have Bob Press that's here. So, Bob, we appreciate you being here. So, can you give us a little time as to tell us why people should vote for you? And then all the questions go only to you.
Well, I want to thank you, Rick, and the Chamber for doing this. My name is Bob Press. My wife, Mary, and I with 2 daughters, Deanne and Janice, we moved out to Putnam Township in 1986. Both daughters graduated from Pinckney school system. We have 6 grandchildren. We just celebrated our 49th wedding anniversary. Our 1 daughter and her 2 daughters live with us. That's interesting. Both granddaughters go to Pinckney school system. One is a senior and one of the captains on the varsity pom team. And the other is in the 2nd grade, and she has me wrapped around her finger. We are members of St. Mary's Church in Putnam Township. I belong to the men's club and also an usher at the church. I belong to the American Legion Post 419 at Pinckney. My wife, Mary, belongs to the Rosary Altar Society, is in charge of the Christmas Bazaar. I retired from General Motors in 2003 after 31 years as a millwright welder. I served in the Army for 2 years, 1970 and 71, and was discharged with an honorable discharge. I got involved with the township in 2004. 2004, I was appointed to the Zoning Board of Appeals for 4 years. 2008, appointed to the Planning Commission. I've been a trustee for 8 years. I have taken classes for the Zoning Board of Appeals, Planning Commission, and I still take classes every year for the Township Board. So you can see that I keep up with what's new and helpful to the Township. I've been Inspector of Elections since 2008. I work the elections when I'm not running for trustee. I was on the Board of Review for 1 year. I've been on different committees, twice on law enforcement, twice on the senior center, and twice on the Parks and Recreation Master Plan for the village and township. I'm also the liaison to the senior center. I work with our fabulous senior director, Patrice Wrench, to make sure everything is running smoothly. I used to get food from cleaners twice a month before the pandemic. Now I go 6 times a month to get food for the senior center food pantry. I fill the truck bed where I can't close the cover, the back seat is full, and sometimes the passenger front seat is full. I don't get any help loading the truck, but I do have help unloading it. The pantry is open 2 days a week, and I'm there both days passing out food. Now I'm working with the senior director on a plan on opening up the center. It will not be a full opening, but a partial opening. Hopefully it'll be soon. My priorities are to be a servant to all the residents and be responsive to the needs and concerns of the residents. To keep Putnam rural with slow growth, improve our roads, not to raise new taxes, have a balanced budget to stay within that budget, and work on the play area in the township square to upgrade the area. We are looking into that right now. My main priority is to get a larger senior center because the one we is now is small and we have to have more parking. Right now, with our small parking lot, sometimes the seniors have to park on the side of the road. This is unsafe. There is no room in the parking lot. The seniors go back home. We can build a new senior center next to the township hall without going to the taxpayers for a millage. I am for conservative spending. We need to live with our means. We need to look for ways to eliminate waste and cut costs. Public safety is another concern for me. I do believe what we have right now is significant, but also need to look down the road for more service if the residents want it. But we would have to need a village for that. As a board, we are working on a play area in the Township Square. Right now, we are fixing what we have now, but also looking for ways to replace the new equipment, grant money, donations, and fundraisers. We do not have a millage for roads, but we work with the Livingston County Road Commission. We pay for part of the road, and the commission pays the other part. We are working on the roads. Also, we do not have a millage for law enforcement, or a millage for the senior center. So as a board, we are doing a good job with our taxpayer money. When we have a surplus for the budget at the end of the fiscal year, I would like to take part of that money and add it to the budget. I'm asking for your vote on November 3rd, so let's have a big turnout. Your vote counts and it can make a difference.
Thank you, Bob. So this is Bob Press, our candidate for Putnam Township trustee who joined us this evening. Bob, a couple questions, because one of the things is you talked about some of the millages, and the question is Hamburg Township was right here before you guys, and they had a road millage, and a lot of their roads have been repaired and fixed and upgraded. So what do you see? Do you think that it should go to the Putnam Township? And again, you said if the residents want it, should there be a road millage in Putnam Township?
Well, to get the same amount of money that Hamburg gets, we would have to have a 3.5 mil, and I don't see that going. We have a lot of private roads, and we have subdivisions. Now, if the people want a millage, will that cover the private roads and the subdivisions? That have to be decided by the voters. But I really don't see a millage going through. We do a good job of what we got, because we only have a third, or about a fourth of what Hamburg has in population and tax base.
Okay. You also mentioned the police department. So is it adequate, the coverage that Putnam Township is getting for police coverage now?
Yeah, we get a monthly report from the Sheriff's Department, and most of it's helping the fire department when there's an accident or a tree go down, or basically we may have one burglary, maybe one domestic violence, and our sheriff, his job is to drive around the township, go up and down the roads, make sure he's visible. We just don't have him sitting on the corner looking for speeders.
Okay. Hamburg Township, when we talked to them recently, we talked about housing, and the same is true because in Putnam Township is also Pinckney Schools, and you mentioned your situation's a little different because you've got some next generation kids living with you, but there are a lot of empty nesters in our area, and how do we work towards increased housing in our area so we can fill up our schools?
Well, we got to get the developers to come out. I mean, we do have property that's been up for sale for over a year. Haven't had a developer come out and look at it. And like I said, we have to get the developers to come out and do low-income housing, which most developers want to do the big homes where they make the big money. And like I said, we have the areas of property that could be bought and developed, but there's nobody coming out. We got one developer going right now, which is the Girl Scout camp, and those homes are going to be close to $1 million. So, I mean, yeah, it's going to get, I think it's going to 99 houses in there maybe. So if they bring some kids in, that'll help the township out, the school system. But we have to wait and see. But like I said, we do have property available. It's just a matter of developers want to come out and do a low-income housing project.
Okay. What other things do you think could help improve the functioning of Putnam Township?
Well, I would like to see money coming from the state along with the county for roads. That would be helpful. And And that's about the main thing right there for roads. You know, like I said, we have a lot of private roads, different roads. And another thing is, we have 7 trash companies coming down our roads, 7 different companies. And they tear up the roads pretty good. Now, as for recycling, a lot of the trash companies are getting out of the business of recycling. And we used to recycle the township until they raised the price up, so we couldn't afford it. So maybe the county could come up with a plan for recycling and help pay for the recycling. That'd be great.
Good. Bob, how about a wrap-up, since you're our last person tonight? How about a wrap-up as to why people should vote for Bob Press?
I'm a servant to all the residents, and I will be responsive to the needs and concerns of the residents. To keep Putnam Township rural and small growth. To have a balanced budget and stay within that budget. Not to raise any new taxes. I'm for conservative spending. Spend more money on our roads without a millage. To keep our senior center growing. To get a larger senior center with more parking. That way those seniors don't have to park in the road. And we can do this without asking for a millage. It can be done. And we're working on the play area in the township square. We are going to fix what we have right now, but also looking for ways to replace with new equipment, grant money, donations, and fundraisers. Public safety is another concern for me. What we have right now is working. If the residents want more, then we'll have to have a millage. We can't keep taking it out of the general fund. So I'm asking for your vote on November 3rd, 2020. So let's have a big turnout. Your vote counts and it'll make a difference. Thank you.
Good. Very good. That was our candidate for Putnam Township trustee. The only one that was with us tonight is Bob Press. So we appreciate you being here tonight. So you're going to have to give some grief to your fellow people there. So, folks, this wraps it up for tonight. We had quite an evening tonight. We had, I think, 11 or 12 different segments. And these were all the candidates that would be on the ballot for the Hamburg and Putnam Township areas, which includes the village of Pinckney. These were all for contested races. Should mention that the village of Pinckney has an election also, but there are no contested races in the village of Pinckney. So these were only contested positions. So hopefully you were able to be a more informed voter watching these segments. We ask for you to share them on social media. And, you know, I wouldn't be the president of the Chamber of Commerce if I didn't remind you to try and shop and dine M36 to support your local businesses. So, thank you. Rick Roden from the Pinckney Putnam Hamburg Hall Chamber of Commerce. Good night.